Soundwave. Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to AC Toy Design. I am AC, your host. Thank you for stopping by today. So I have a nice, pleasant surprise for myself, for you guys. I want to thank the kind folks out there at Blokees. You guys have seen my Blokees reviews before in the past for these little guys. These are their 3 3/4, 4-inch, whatever Galaxy series. I really love these, and you can check out my reviews on my previous videos about how I feel about those. But they sent me something a little different. This video is for these guys. I got 3 of these larger. These are the classic class from Transformers 1. They sent me Soundwave, Shockwave, and Ironhide, and I'm going to open these up and put them together for you so you can see them, what they look like, how I let you know how I feel about them, an honest review. And I'm really excited to dig into these things, especially this Shockwave, because I don't have a Shockwave figure. The vintage Shockwave, you guys know I'm a vintage guy, and the vintage Shockwave is kind of out of my price range, and the newer ones that Hasbro's been putting out are kind of garbage. So one thing Blokees does really well is they're always really spot on to the cartoon or whatever it is that they're making. In this case, it's Transformers 1, which I really enjoyed that movie. Surprisingly, I avoided it for a really long time, but I really liked it. So I'm going to show you guys these boxes real quick. The boxes are always pretty fancy pants. Look at that. You got the holographic thingamajigs, like the little doodly dads. I got little like showing you what's going on in there. And then you can see, so these guys are snap together model kits, which is another thing that I love. I love model kits. I love putting things together, using my hands for craftiness and all that stuff. So they range from what looks like to be, this has 86 pieces. Soundwave has 85 pieces, it says it down here. And Ironhide has a whopping 92 pieces. So that's cool. I'm really excited. This one says Optimus Prime vehicle form, bonus vehicle. I don't know what that means. If there's a bonus Optimus Prime vehicle in here or not, we're gonna find out. But yeah, these boxers are really nice. Box art, I love box art, it's great. So I'm excited to jump into these, and they always come, all the pieces are on a sprue, like old school, what you call model kits that I grew up with in the 80s. So I'm excited to jump into those. I think I'm gonna start with good old Soundwave and jump in with him. I'm excited to see what's going on in this package. I'm gonna try to get all these in one hand. It's not gonna happen. So there's all 3, so you guys can see. Larger box. I also wanted to say, if you want to support this channel and see more videos, every YouTuber always says that, because it costs money and time to make videos. So if you guys want to support the channel directly, the best thing to do is just subscribe and pass it along, pass the video along to somebody. But if you want to join my Patreon for $2 a month, $2 a month, come on, you guys can check that out. And I'll put the link below. It's probably flashing across the screen too. It's patreon.com/Adam Crohn, ADAMCROHN. That's me. And man, I'm looking at the back of these boxes. They're really cool, the holograph stuff. Anyway, big thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing, amazing, amazing. 3 times thrice. What else is I going to say about that? I'm going to scroll the names of my Patreon supporters across the screen, probably right now, maybe not. And yeah, these are exciting. These guys, I'm really looking forward to opening these up and putting them together. I think they retail for about 15 bucks, between 15 and 20, depending on where you get them. I think I saw them on Big Bad Toy Store. They're not a sponsor of mine, and AliExpress for around 15, 16, 17 bucks, depending on the character. I'm guessing that also depends on the amount of parts, maybe, or the demand, or whatever. I don't know. So let's put them together. Here we go. so he's all done. So the last package that I had, that I opened up, that you saw me open up, was the stand. All Blokees come with stands, and they just snap fit, tight fit, whatever, together. He had these really cool, I really like these actually, the flame effects. Let's put, and they're modular, so they just peg and socket. And let's put another one over here. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Okay. There's your base. Here's the figure. So I really like this guy. Soundwave is an awesome character, and every time every time there's a new figure made of him, they always try to tweak the design a little bit. Obviously, the vintage original design is the best, but this is pretty close, and also spot on to the movie that we saw in Transformers 1. He's got his opening cassette deck chest piece there, and it opens up, and there's like some battle damage going on the inside. He's got his trademark shoulder cannon. He does not have as far as I can tell, yeah, he does not have a weapon. I don't think he came with a weapon. I'll have to check the sprues. Make sure you check your sprues. There was one piece that I was missing that was still stuck in the sprue. If that's the case, and there is a weapon in those sprues, I'll put some glamour shots at the end of the video anyway, so you can see how he can pose up. But also a couple of things I wanted to make note of for Blokees just in general. It's all snap fit, snap tight together, and a lot of times when you're putting it together, assembling him, you'll forget a piece. In this case, I forgot, when you saw me put together the torso, I forgot these shoulder bits. So I just went back, pulled it apart, popped those in, which you can do anytime with Blokees. Think Legos. I mean, it's the same idea. It's modular. Now this guy, you probably just saw his eyes light up. So he has a battery inside the red chest piece that I snapped together, and really cool visor lights up, and he's got a chest light there behind his Decepticon insignia. The only thing that I haven't been able to figure out with Blokees, a lot of these come with that. I don't know how to turn it off and on. Sometimes he gets tapped right or something and it'll turn off, it'll turn on. I have no idea what that is, how to do that. So if you guys know, pop it into the comments and let me know how that works. I didn't see anything in the instructions, maybe I missed it. But it's a really cool effect, and if I turn off this light a little bit there, you can see it a little better. Soundwave, laser beak, which brings me to another point about this figure. It would have been really cool. So a lot of these guys, let me show you. I'll put him on his stand in a second, but a lot of these guys come with, little guns and accessories. They all come with a gun. And even though he's got his shoulder cannon, he doesn't have his other gun, his trademark gun. But even better than that, would have been really cool if he came with a laser beak, specifically laser beak, because laser beak, you could have a little peg hole here and he could sit on his shoulder, on his arm, something like that. I'm really surprised they didn't include that, because I think the 4-inch Blokee actually comes with one, if I'm not mistaken, that fits onto his arm. So that's interesting. It doesn't take away from the figure itself. It's very, I like this. I like it a lot. He's very spindly. He's very thin compared to how Soundwave is usually. It's usually pretty stocky. But that's the design in the show. Another thing about Blokees is almost all of the pieces are symmetrical. So as far as his legs go, like his feet and his pads, all that stuff is symmetrical, so it didn't matter which side I got him on. However, the inside of it, like the skeletal endoskeleton, those are not symmetrical, so you got to make sure you get the right pieces in the right way. Same with the arms, but there are a lot of symmetry going on. What else? You saw me pop together all of his waist to his chest, all that stuff. See, now the light went off, so I don't know what I'm doing that's turning it on and off. But he's got extreme posability, like his head, swivel ball joint there, the cannon up and down, the arms, they got articulation for days at the shoulders, at the like a tricep swivel, I guess. Elbow bend. The wrists are on ball joints. Same with the legs. The knees are only one hinge, but they have pretty good articulation. Again, ball joints for the feet and the hips. And then the waist turn. It's a really cool little model kit. I love model kits, like I said. What else do I need to make note of? The design, the sculpt is just bonkers. There's sculpt details all day. As far as accessories, he also comes with another set. He comes with 2 sets of hands, 2 fists, 2 open, which is really, really dope. And they always include extra of these little neck pegs. There's always extra ones in there. So he just pops on the stand. He's got, the holes in the feet, and you can just put it on, boom, display him. See, now the light went back on. Let's get him like something like this. Boom, boom, boom. I hate you. There you go. Very cool. Cool pose. I'll pop some glamour shots in there of some good poses, but I wanted to just run over the figure. So that is Soundwave. Now I'm going to show you guys Ironhide and Shockwave, and I'm not going to assemble those. This whole assembly took me about, 45 minutes to an hour. But I've assembled so many of these Blokees figures that I kind of know how they go together. They all kind of pop together the same way. So let me assemble those really quick, and then we'll look at all 3 together. Cool. Let's do it. All right, Joe, so I got them all 3 together, put together, and what a journey that was. Now, I love these snap together models. They do take time. I would say about, 45 minutes to an hour each. Here is the Soundwave figure, and he's just a cool looking figure. I really like him. He's very thin though for a Soundwave. That's the only gripe that I would say. Articulation wise, I already went through that, and all these guys have pretty much the same articulation. However, there are a couple engineering and design elements that I really liked in the articulation of another one. I might as well move on to that. That's Ironhide. So here's Ironhide's figure, and he does come with his blaster. It's a pretty cool, hefty blaster. I didn't think I would like this Ironhide as much. He's not one of my favorite characters, but this is a really awesome version of him. And he's chunky, he's got the big boots. But one thing that I really liked about his design is his shoulder articulation has these hinges that totally roll forward. And they're also on a ball joint, so you got like a double hinge there. He can get this weird gorilla pose, bringing his shoulders forward. But it can lend itself to a lot of really cool posing. One thing I also think I figured out, I mentioned the lighting inside, and I think if you tap the back, it turns on like it just did, and they all have it. Make sure when you put the torso together, you pull the plastic tab out before you assemble it. And I think as far as turning it off, it just needs to turn off on its own. I think it's on a timer of some kind, because I've tried to tap it and turn it off. Maybe there's a different way. Again, leave a comment if you know there's a different way, but tapping the back definitely turns it on. Ironhide is great. And one thing I really liked about Ironhide, I read it off the box when I started this video, is he comes with a mini Optimus Prime, and in a truck form anyway, and you assemble him just like you do the others. And this is I love minifigures, I love small toys, so this is an awesome little bonus that comes with Ironhide here. So if you're kind of on the fence with this guy, this is a huge incentive for picking that up, especially if you're a fan of the movie. This design it's really interesting. It's not my favorite of Optimus Prime's vehicle modes. I like the traditional OG, but this is a dope little almost Matchbox size car that he comes with, and it rolls pretty well. It's got, on my cutting mat, loaded with paint and stuff, but it comes with three sets of wheels, and they roll pretty well. So that's awesome. I also wanted to make note, maybe we'll come back to that. Let's look at Shockwave first. And Shockwave is an awesome figure. He's chunky in all the right ways. I love his torso, how it comes out a little bit. He has the same articulation, although his shoulders, they're good. They're on ball joints, and but they're not as flexible as Ironhide's. Also, another thing that's really interesting is that his shoulder pads can move down. You can give him a couple different kinds of looks. Maybe that's the sad look. I don't know. Maybe like when you got him up, he's excited. I don't know. Is that weird? Who knows? He has his trademark gun arm, which is really cool. Let's move this light over here. Really cool design there with the whatever you call this, the oats. I think this holds his oats right there, the oat holder. And then also this guy lights up. Let's see if my theory is correct. Nope. So I'm tapping him on the back, he's not light up. So whatever it takes to turn these guys on, right? Sometimes you got to make sure the head's pushed in. That neck peg that the head is on, this guy, you want to make sure it's pushed in pretty well. But that's not turning them on. I don't know. Let me know. Anyway, it turns on, and it looks really cool coming through the purple and the yellow, however it is that you do that. All these guys come with interchangeable hands, and since this guy only has one arm with hands on it, he only has his, he's got his open hand, closed hand. Ironhide has the same open hand, closed hand, as well does Shockwave. Love this guy. I love the chunkiness of his boots. I'm big into like chunky lower legs. I love that design. Gives them heft and weight on the bottom. Speaking of which, these are very light figures, but they're very solid. Once you snap them together and you get them going, the articulation is great. Holds up. I'm holding his leg and it's not, sagging or anything like that. I can even hold him pretty much, by the arm here, and you can see there's still space in between the arm and the leg, and it's not moving. So the joints are solid. They're tight, especially the torso, the head. These are plastic on plastic, so there's no metal involved. So those joints should hold out pretty well for a long time. Good articulation in the legs, always. They bend 90 degrees. I don't really care about that stuff. I'm not a huge articulation guy, but these are very articulated for snap together models. Really like the design. Love it. And they all come with their own stand, as I mentioned. And that, he just fell over. I don't have to worry about any there's no paint, as far as I can tell. None of this stuff is painted. It's all cast ABS plastic. Really cool. So, if they fall over, you don't have to worry about it. Maybe there's a little paint around the eye there. Silver paint going on. But you don't have to worry about any kind of damage to the paint as they fall over or whatever. Anyway, his base comes with really cool little shock waves, or I don't know, splashes, purpley energon splashes. I showed you Soundwaves with the flames. I like the yellow. And then this is really cool. Ironhides with this sort of energon, Tronish look. Really cool stuff. What else? Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you was, that's a cool pose this guy ended up in. Ironhide. So this is the classic Transformers 1 classic series, right? And then here's the 4-inch. This guy's about 5.5, 6 inches. I guess you'd call it this 6-inch scale around here. But this is the 4-inch Ironhide, just for comparison, by Blokees as well. And this one is the Galaxy, so it's as close. Their aim was to make them look like the classic cartoon. I don't know why they're called Galaxy series. I would have called these classics. But I love this figure. I love these little 4-inch mini chunky little guys. So in comparison there, obviously a different design from a different animation, but that's what they look like. I'm really digging this guy. I didn't think I would like Ironhide as much as I do. Now, I think that pretty much covers all three figures, and if we can get this guy in a better pose here. Let's bring his arm up. Blast! Megatron! Yeah. A lot of fun here. As I mentioned before with Soundwave, he ended up in a really good pose. I like that. As I mentioned before with Soundwave, as you're snapping these together, make sure that you follow the directions. You can always unsnap them, and I even used at one point a flathead screwdriver to pry his Shockwave's torso apart, because I had forgotten, I didn't realize you have to attach his torso stick, whatever, peg, inside the torso and then push the torso together. So I had done it separately and didn't do it the way you're supposed to. Did I get it on? There you go. That's really cool. The purple glow there. And I think it'll just turn off by itself. So I'm going to try to get a shot with all their lights on, with my lights off and their lights on. I think that would be a cool little shot. Also, there's little pieces on the sprues. You want to make sure you don't miss this little silver bit right here. I missed it and had to go back and find it. He did not have a gun. I also checked his sprues for that. So that's how he comes. Really a shame that Soundwave didn't come with a mini laser beak or buzzsaw, because here we've got Ironhide, you know, with the mini Optimus Prime. And granted, this is not in scale with what he would be. If this was scale, he'd be, you know, a lot bigger. So, but that's just a cool little mini bonus. So why not give that guy one of his cassettes, or even, like, you know, with this popping open, leave this empty and put maybe a little, it would just be a flat piece, little buzzsaw or Ravid cassette that could pop in there, or the buzzsaw that could clip onto his shoulder or on his arm. I don't know why they didn't do that. As far as Shockwave goes, I don't know what kind of minifigure he could come with, but I'm sure we could figure out something. But that's not a slight on these. They're absolutely worth the price point, I think. If for nothing else, the fun of putting them together. You know, if I could totally see, especially if your kids like the movie, mom and dad, whoever, grabs one of these and you sit down for an hour and put it together as a team. That's a lot of fun. I used to love doing that stuff with my dad, putting models together, model cars and whatever. Or those vintage GoBots, you know, those model sets, those were awesome. So that's a lot of fun. Blokees is doing excellent work. They really are. They're doing some really cool stuff. We'll put these guys out here too. Don't shoot him in the head. Just put your arm down. That's a cool pose. I like that. And just so you can see for comparison, size comparison there. There's a nice little shot. Now, I haven't decided yet. When Blokees sent these to me, the little ones, I ended up giving like half of them away on my Patreon. If you want to join, that's patreon.com/Adam Crone, ADAMCROHN. I'll flash that on the screen. I still have a few of these little ones to give away on Patreon. As far as these 3 big ones, I'm really digging them, and I might just keep them, at least for now, add them to my collection. But you never know. I'm always popping stuff into that Patreon and just giving it away for free. So be sure to check that out. I've also got my podcast and all that stuff, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. For now, it's about these figures, and I really dig them. I want to thank Blokees again for sending them to me, and I'm going to pass it back over to myself. Hey everybody, so I hope you dug that. Digged it. Hope you digged it and dug it. Dig Dug. That's an awesome 80s arcade game. Here they are. I'm trying to hold them all 3. So I want to thank Blokees again, number 1, for sending these over and letting me review them on the day that they release, which I think is the 14th, which should be today. Check these out, because if you like Transformers 1 and you like articulated Transformers figures, and you like snap together models that are really cool, this is where it's at. Blokees is doing the best work, and I'm not just saying that because they let me check these out. I was really into their 4-inch figures like I showed you in just a minute ago, and now they've got these 6-inch or 5.5, 6-inch. This is a really cool pair together. Look at that. Like, what? Step to it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, Blokees, for sending these over. Thank you to my Patreon members, patreon.com/Adam Crone, ADAMCROHN. Over there, you can check out my giveaways. I might be giving some of these away. I'm definitely giving a couple more of the 4-inch ones, these little guys, that I have left over from previous reviews over on my Patreon. Check out Mini Optimus Prime. Look at that. It's so cool. Just eat them. Also on my Patreon, you can check out my podcast. You Like Toys. It's our weekly or a couple times a month podcast where everybody in my Patreon gets to ask me questions about anything they want. Toys, tomfoolery, movies, food. We talk about food all the time. Whatever you want. It's an awesome, amazing community, and I would not be able to do these videos without them. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. See your name scrolling on the screen. Man, this Ironhide, I really dig it. His head sculpt is pretty dope. Look at that. He's just tough. It's a tough face. I like it. So yeah, Patreon. I love them. Thank you so much. And I also post over there on my Patreon a lot of illustration stuff because I'm an illustrator. It's not just toys. It's art in all of its forms. So anyway, again, thank you, Blokees. Go check these out. You can find them. They retail for about $15 or so, give or take. And I would definitely pick some up. I really want an Optimus Prime or a Orion Pax of this. So Blokees, if you're watching, send me those over and I will definitely review those. What else? I think that's it. Man, I can't get over this Mini Optimus Prime. It's so cool. Optimus Prime is my favorite fictional character from the 80s. He's an inspiration on me daily. I love it because he always does the right thing. Him and Captain America. So Optimus Prime. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to sign off. I think that's all I got. Higum, I love you. You all right? Okay. I'm going to give you a thumbs up. Bang. Look at that. How's it going? What if I did this? Bang. There's an Optimus Prime in there. Bang. Look at that. Look at that. It's ridiculous. You guys get some oats. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, bell icon, Patreon. I'll see you later. Thank you, Blokey. Sit, Muji, sit. Good dog.